Hi there, everybody, and welcome to the final edition of this year's FDU Women's Soccer Coaches Report. John Lauder here, along with the head coach of the FDU Women's Soccer team, Rick Stainton. Coach, how are you?
John, doing great. How about yourself?
Doing okay. So obviously, kind of a bittersweet, tough end of the season. It was a great year for you guys, but a tough 2-1 loss in double overtime to LIU Brooklyn in the NEC Tournament semifinals. Just some thoughts on that game, kind of some things you saw, and just kind of a recap of that game against LIU Brooklyn.
Just to recap the game, LIU came at us pretty strong. They had a couple early opportunities, one which they capitalized on from quite a distance. But from that moment on, I think in general we had the better of the play. The stats kind of proved that as well in regards to shots and things like that. But our team responded well. We battled back. We were able to get the equalizer to bring it to overtime. I thought we did have some advantage going into the overtime, but the unfortunate thing happened where LIU found that special moment where they were able to get a clean shot off, a good look at net, and put the ball away. So kudos to them. Our girls played a tremendous game. They played tremendous all throughout the season, and couldn't be more proud of the others' efforts.
Now, obviously, you had seen LIU Brooklyn earlier in the season. Was there anything different from them, or was it pretty much the same, kind of what you expected?
Actually, the lineup was pretty identical. Player to player, position by position, nothing was different. The only thing that was different was the environment and the magnitude of the game. We were playing on a grass field, which was much bigger. It allowed us to play through our backs an awful lot. Our outside left back in Casey Schiavone led all shooters with the total number of shots. So she was able to get into the attack a lot. It wasn't until we really pressed their backs that we were able to capitalize, and that was us just kind of changing the formation and our personnel around. But in regards to LIU changing things, really wasn't much different than when we saw them at their place early on.
And after the game, what were some of the things you talked to the team about? Obviously for Sage, her final game, I'm sure a lot of emotions there, but kind of a tough end to a great season. What were some of the things you talked to the team about?
The biggest thing is, we had a taste of what it is all about, to be in the tournament, to be so close, and to allow that to fuel us going into our off season and getting prepared for next season. Obviously, it was tough for Sage. It was tough for all of us for that to be her last game. She had an incredible season, received many accolades for that. And that's what happens in college ball. You play your 4 years, and obviously you have to move on. She's going to be a big void to fill. She was a tremendous part of our success this year. But we do have Felicia, who's been under her wing for the past 2 years, getting prepared for her opportunity. And we also have a new goalkeeper coming in next year who is quite talented as well. So for us, just to kind of look at it and to hear what they were saying, how quickly they want to get back to that point, how they feel like they can be successful on that platform, motivates us. And, we're looking forward to going back to work and getting it done next year.
Now, when we spoke all the way at the beginning of the year, you talked about kind of your expectations, your thoughts on this first season here at FDU. You guys have one of the best conference records the team has ever had, and a very successful season. Now, looking back on the season, just some thoughts on kind of the journey that you took in this first year.
It was fun. It was exciting. We did accomplish a lot. I think some of it that the team wasn't even aware that they could do themselves. I was happy to see them find success and enjoy the process. I think they thoroughly did enjoy the process. We had some up and downs, and we battled through some adversity, and I think that actually made us stronger. And the team kind of gelled together and really worked as one to achieve what they did. So, looking back at the season, we have very good moments that we can look back at and build upon, and we look forward to doing so.
And final question for you, Coach. Obviously, one of the most important, but also one of the most difficult things is sustaining success moving forward. What do you think is the biggest key and the important things that the team needs to do, that you need to do to try to sustain the success for next year and in the years to come for this program?
Well, I mean, part of our success this year started when we came back in January, when we got the position and we started working in the spring season. And, the work begins now for us for next season. They must prepare themselves individually, and when we get together as a team, work collectively together. Everything from the technical aspect, which we'll be focusing an awful lot on in the spring season, and how we're going to implement that into our tactics. But we also have a good incoming class coming in next year, and we're going to have to embrace them as well and catch them up to speed on everything that we've worked on during this off season. So we got a bright future ahead, and like you said, sustaining success is difficult. It's probably more difficult than trying to achieve it and build up to it. So we know what it's going to take. They know the effort that has to be put forth, and my hope is that they're committed to exceeding that effort.
All right, Rick Stainton, head coach of the FDU women's soccer team. Coach, thanks so much for taking the time this year. Congrats on a successful first season, and good luck moving forward for next year and the years to come.
I really appreciate that, and I appreciate all your support, and these shows have been great, so thank you.
You're welcome. So that will do it for the final edition of the FDU Coaches Report. We'll now have a chance. Ryan Uhlich will sit down with Sage DoVale for her final interview here as we tie a bow up on this FDU women's soccer season.
Thank you, John. I'm standing here with senior goalkeeper Sage DoVale for her final FDU interview. This interview is always going to be yours, and we're glad to have you. Thanks for taking the time today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the season. It was a fantastic season. You've been here for a long time, and you've seen a lot of turnover, but this season, Coach Stainton's first full year.
Yeah.
Just run us through what a really good run it was for the team and you.
I don't even know where to start. We literally start at the bottom almost, you could say. I remember going back to Stony Brook. I know probably no one wants to remember that game, but when we went 6-0 and we were just a mess and we were still trying to figure everything out, going to making it to the NEC semifinals. We really started from the bottom, and then also just in conference play, we're predicted to finish second to last, and we finished second to the top. So, you could say it was two huge extremes in how the season went, and thank God it went from bottom to top rather than top to bottom. But the season as a whole, it was phenomenal just how we just grew together and how fast we grew together too. And I know there's only more to accomplish. We definitely haven't peaked or anything, so the season was a good starter season for that.
Absolutely. Let's go back to the LIU game. I was there. It was freezing. The wind was really bad. It was also snowing out there. Playing with the wind against you guys, you struggled in the first half. They dominated possession mostly. But in the second half and overtime, all FDU. And I know it was a tough finish, and I was right there on the bench too. And just talk about you guys. I know there's always that period at the end of the game, but you guys held your heads up high. You were smiling the rest of the night. We went out to dinner.
Yeah.
Just talk about the group of players and that game. You guys nearly pulled out at the end there.
Yeah, it still hurts. I gotta say, it still hurts. That's how close we were. That we still walk out with our heads held high. But I know it still hurts, especially for me. But I know the girls are still feeling it. That game, I really did think we had it, because even though they had the win in the first half and they were really peppering us with shots, I thought when we had the win, we outdid them. Kind of if you look at the half versus half, and then even going into had the win again going in the first overtime. Second overtime, we lost the win, but I still felt we carried that momentum we had gathered into that second overtime, and it was just an unfortunate. LIU's got the experience. That whole sequence of events that led to that overtime goal was through experienced players. And the first pass is from the rookie of the year. So, I guess I gotta say it's a shot that was if there ever a shot to score, that would have been it, or ever a shot for me not to save, that would have been it. It was a great strike. But the game, I really thought we had. I haven't seen our team put so much on the line before, so it was great. I knew they had it in them, and then I'm glad we finally brought it out, and it just showed how much more depth we have and how much more we have within ourselves to pull out when we needed to. And in that instance, we needed it, and I thought we climbed to the challenge, or got to we took on the challenge, and we handled it very well for a rookie team in the playoffs. So the LIU game was a hard battle. It was very well fought on both ends. A lot of it was fought on the actual field. You saw a lot of shots, but there was a lot of battle in the middle, just between backline to backline. So, I mean, there's not really much to say. It was definitely a game to be proud of on our behalf. And then next year we'll just come back and get it.
But I wish we were coming back for another year, another go at it. But I got to say, it was a phenomenal game that you guys played. No understatement. And I agree. That goal, I mean, if that's one of those goals, I mean, if that goal is deserving of a win, I mean, otherwise you guys were destined for PKs, and it was an even battle.
Yeah.
So my next question is, you've been here for a lot of years. I mean, you've seen a lot of turnover, a lot of coaching changes, a lot of players come in and out.
Yeah.
And here you are as a senior captain going out now. But tell me where you think the program's headed after such a phenomenal season as it was.
I remember, I think I've had a different coaching staff every year I've been here. And just with Rick and Christy and Christina, I definitely see a solid stay. I have no doubt that they'll stay here for a while. So with that, just we don't have that hindrance of always changing staff and changing personnel and re-implementing a new coaching player relationship. I think all we can do is go forward. Like you saw, and like I kind of went on about earlier, where we started and how we finished with 1 year with just this coaching crew. I think that we're only bound for more growth. I mean, this was his first year here, and this was, and there's a lot more time in the other players that the team itself is a
very young team.
Yeah, so you have all that to build on, and then just using them to build a foundation, and then just bringing in the recruitment of players. I think this program is only bound to go up. I think it'll eventually plateau in a couple years, but I think as long as we keep this build and this growth, that plateau will be a bar set very high for the conference, and hopefully we'll become more contenders. And I have full confidence in their recruitment, just hearing about the players that have committed already and whatnot. So I honestly, without a doubt, can say this program's only headed for the sky. So.
Can't wait. I hope you're right. I mean,
I'm the biggest fan too.
I mean, absolutely, got a fan of me too. So my last question of the last interview: what's next for you, Sage?
Well, I'm actually excited to go to Vancouver next semester for my marine biology major, and that was actually decided just the other day. So I'm excited about that. And then from there, I'm looking to maybe get into law school, and I want to try and go to NYU. I definitely want to stay up in the Northeast. It kind of sucked me in.
It's kind of nice up here.
Yeah, who would have thought? Georgia girls being sucked up north. But yeah, so I want to definitely come back after Vancouver. I've been just doing some work, and I want to stick with that, continue my relationship with the work I'm at now, and then just focus on school now that I have to focus on school. Hopefully keep those grades, and then we'll see what happens from then on, So I want to do environmental law, and we'll see. Hopefully it works out.
That sounds wonderful. I wish you the best of luck in the future, academically, everything. You definitely have a fan in me, and thanks for a really phenomenal season. Tied for top career shutouts. I know. I wish you had broken it as well. You're still up top there.
Yeah.
But a phenomenal senior season, Sage. Yeah. All the best.
Thank you. You too. And I'll see everyone around.
Absolutely. She'll be back. She loves the Northeast. She said it herself. And thank you, Knights fans, for watching on FDUKnights.com and NEC Front Row all season long. And it's only going to start back up again next August. So stick around. Thank you.